Text files provide permanent data storage. This means that data can be reused without having to be retyped. So you can process data, store it in a text file. Later, you can bring that data back to the program and do more processing and send the updated data back to the file. Data can be read, written, and appended. Now here you need to know these three file processing, text file processing, right? One is reading. You can read the content. You can write the content to the file, or you can append. Now, what's the difference between? Okay, what do you mean by append? Append is also writing, but then what's the difference between writing and appending? Writing will completely erase the existing data and write new data, whereas appending is adding new data to the existing data, and you'll be adding data at the end of the file when you're appending, right? There's another function called insert, which allows you to add data to a specific place, especially with regard to arrays. We'll look at these some additional functions later on, right? So basically, you have three functions: read, write, append. Okay. To access a text file, you must first give the file handle. There should be a variable to store all the content in the file. So that's the file handle, which can be something like my file. Files can be opened to read from them, to write, or to append. So if you are opening a file for reading, this is how you open. You need to have the handle equals open command, open function, and then inside you should have the name of the file and the permission. One of those three functions. If you put R as a parameter here, it will be open for reading. If you put W, it will be open for writing. If you put A, it will be open for appending. Is that clear? Right? It's the same code, except that this last handle or the last parameter changes. Read R, write W, append A. Is that clear? Yeah. If you can't speak, gives a thumbs up.
Yes, actually.
Okay. After a file has been opened, it must be closed. Now, don't forget that every file that is open for any of these functions must be closed. Every file that is open for any of these functions should be closed at the end. Otherwise, changes will not be reflected. Okay, keep that in mind, right? Data is not written to a file until this command is executed. See, the following program would create a file called names and add 2 items of data. Right. Okay, shall you do it? Take Tony. Right. Okay. So let's put a comment. File writing. Okay. So we are going to, if the file is not there, we had to create the file, and then we had to write 2 data items, right? And if the file is not created before we run the program, Python will automatically create this file in the same location where you save your Python file. Okay. Otherwise, if the file is there, it will open the file and write it, right? So basically, remember, here the file is open. In all 3 occasions, the file is open, but the writes are different. Okay. Right. So let's write. First, you need the handle. My file equals open. Give the file name. Names.txt. txt. Comma and the permission. This is open for writing. Right now, hereafter you have to use the handle, not the file name. So basically, we open the file and put it into a handle or a variable, and after that we are going to use the variable. We're going to use the variable, right? Not the file name. My file dot write. See, after that we are using the handle my file dot write. Write function is there, right? Okay. First item, second item. My file dot write. Second item. Right. After finishing, what you have to do? You have to close the file. So you can use the handle again, because I told you, like, after this line, we are not using the file name, we are using the file handle, right? So my file dot close bracket. Right. Now it's important that you save your file in a proper place. So let's save as okay. So save it in a proper location, right? File write or something. Okay, now when you run the program, that's the location where it's going to store the text file. Okay, the same location where you store your Python file. Right? Watch this, right? I'm going to run this. It doesn't show anything. There you go. Right? It's got stored right in the place where the Python file is. If you open, there you go. Right? There was no space. It just printed it on the same line. Okay, can you try? Test it, run and test. And let me know once you have tested, right? Okay, guys, did you try? So here we are opening it for writing. We write the first item, we write a line break separately, we write the second item, right? And then we close. Then we are opening it again, but this time for appending, and we are writing a third item, but this time we tried putting a line break inside the third item. When you're writing the third item, it worked. And then we close the file, we open it again, this time for reading, and we read the whole content, and you can see first item, second item, third item. Okay, got it? Can you write it and test and let me know? Kansa, what we were talking about was we open this file for writing. We wrote first item, second item, but before testing this, you open the file and remove everything, right? And save it blank without any content. So we open the file here for writing. We wrote first name, and then we wrote a line break, and then we wrote the second item, right? First item and second item, and then we closed. Then we open it again for appending. We wrote third item with a line break, and then we closed. And then here we read the file, the whole content, and you can see it's written into separate lines. Okay, test it. Before running it, remove everything in the text file and save it. Okay, go ahead.
So when you use two line breaks, there will be like there are two spaces. I mean, there's a separate space.
Okay.
Like the first item, second item, and the next there is a space, and then only
Okay.
there is a third item.
Did you put two line breaks?
Yeah, so just like how you did.
Okay. You mean it's like this? Is it like this?
Yes, sir.
Can you just delete everything? Just delete everything and save the file, and now run it again. And then open.
It works, sir.
It works now, right? Okay. All right. So that's file writing, right? File writing for writing, for appending, and reading. Okay. Now let's try the example given in the book. Right. The following program would write contents of an array into a text file called class.text with a comma between them. So you can see the array is already given, right? Right. So we have the array already defined, and then what do? We open the file for writing, and then we have a loop. Why do you need the loop? You need to access each and every value in the array, right? For index, in range, length, a list. So index, we have the index in the array now. So we have a variable called index. We can use any variable there, which will keep on tracking through the index here. And when you don't have the lower boundary specified, it will always start with 0. So it will start from 0 and go 1 less than the length of the A list. So length of the A list is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it goes only up to 4. So that's correct, right? Because we have to start with 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Length of the A list is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it goes only up to 4. When the lower boundary is not given, it will be 0 always. Understand? Right? Then what do? My file dot write a list index. A list index means we are accessing each and every value here and we are concatenating it with a comma, and then we are writing. So this is going to be written into a single line separated with comma. And finally, we close the file. Right. Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes. Can you implement this and show me the output? Or let me know when you have finished. Let's write the contents of this array into the text file. Let's use a new text file, right? New one. Okay, go ahead. I'll be also doing it here. So if you find it difficult, you can go through that, right? Okay, start. Try to write it with your, with your memory, without looking at the code. I'll give you an extension work also, right? Can you write the code to read the file also inside this, right? After writing, you write the code. First, I'll tell you. First, you open the file and check whether the data got written, right? And if it is so, you add the code for reading it also here. Don't forget to save it in a proper place, right? Can you see the mistake I did? I didn't close the file, so nothing is there. So you need to close the file, right? Okay, so my first step is done. Okay, it got written to the text file, but now I'm going to display the results using the same code, right, without opening the file separately. You test this first before implementing that, right? There you go. It works. Understood. Right. Can you guys do this and send me a screenshot? I want to see how you did it. Do it fast, right? Send me the screenshot in WhatsApp or in Zoom. Pinuki, Kansa, okay, finish. How is it going? Any problem? Content is not defined. Content is not defined. But it gets defined here. No? When you are assigning this output of this file into this variable, it already gets assigned. That's nice. Okay. Because this is an assignment, right? This one is assignment. You read the content of the file and you put it into a variable called content. So you don't need to define it separately. When there's an assignment, it is defined already. Binuki, Kansa, how is it going? Okay, right. Good, good. Abhishek, forward? What's going on? Okay, Akib. That's great. Well done. So I'll send you a homework. Make sure that you do it and send me the screenshot, right? Send it to WhatsApp so that I can correct and give it back to you. So let me type the homework while others are doing it. Good, Pinuki. Send me the screenshots, everyone. Then I can check your answers. Good, excellent. Right. So I have given you homework, right? Make sure that you send me the screenshot of your answer. Let me explain the homework. Take a look at the WhatsApp message. Define a blank array. Okay. Ask the user to enter the name and class. That's user input, right? So you need a separate variable for that. Ask the user to enter computer science marks for 3 terms and append them to the array. So you can use the append function to add the values to the array, right? You can run it in a loop 3 times, right? So that they represent the 3 terms. You run 3 times, appending the marks into the array. Calculate the total and average marks and write them into a text file in separate lines with a label. That means student name, right? Student name, Lairu Jilla. Student class, so and so, right? You don't need to write the individual marks. You need to write only the total and the average. Total marks, so and so. Average marks, so and so. And then read the content and display on the program itself. Is that clear? Yeah, I have put it in WhatsApp. Okay, is the homework clear? Try to send it now since you learned it today. This you got some experience in file writing. Try to send it within today. Don't postpone, then you forget, right? Okay. Right, then I'm going to stop there. We'll meet soon, maybe tomorrow or day after. And on 29th, we'll most probably be meeting physically. Right? Okay, then. See you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.